Hi, I'm Davi. Is it weird if I eat? Is that annoying? So I named the album Liminal State because it's kind of how I'd been feeling for the past year.
I'm not happy.
I really found safety in these little atmospheres I would create when I was making my songs. And I would just kind of live there and stay there. The album is kind of a journey through this liminal state and what I'm experiencing in the in-between, which is a lot of emotions that I'm like essentially hiding from everyone and just experiencing by myself in my room when I'm making this music. I wanted it to feel like a cycle. So we start the album with Apathy, which is kind of a cry out to the universe. I think there's something wrong with me because I'm just so apathetic and I'm feeling more and more disconnected, more and more lost. You hear the crickets because I'm shouting into like the night sky essentially, and then you hear the intro to Sans Savoir and we're getting onto this journey of self-discovery. So Sans Savoir is me connecting to my French side. I have no family in the US. My family's all in France. Grew up with French parents. I speak both languages fluently, and French culture is a big part of who I am. So a lot of people were like, why don't you just try writing in French? I was always psyching myself out. I was like, I'm not good enough. And my friend was like, just try it. And that night I wrote Sans Savoir. Sans Savoir means not knowing. So it's a song about just kind of questioning, is this where I want to be putting my energy? Try As I Might was born from pure fun. I love that synth sound. It's so groovy, and I instantly thought of like Y2K vibes. Again, just making music that I could vibe to, that I could hide in and just kind of be like, yes, this is my world. Then we go into High, which is kind of like coming back down to earth and having that moment of like accepting a loss and kind of being like, damn, we really were up there and that fucking sucks. It's a sad song. I don't know what to say about it. It's sad. Lost Cause is my favorite track on this album and it took the least time to make. I'm literally shaking from how much espresso I've had. I was on my computer that night playing around with some sounds and, piecing them together and putting drums, and I started thinking about making a song about meeting someone from a past life. Like, oh, I found you again. Like, you made your way back to me. I thought I was a lost cause, but we can feel this again. And it was a really fun song to write. It's a feel-good song. It kind of embodies the joy of connecting with someone who like sees our soul and like this feels familiar because we feel like we've been here before and we're finding each other again. It's so special, and like, why not celebrate that? Nothing to Me I wrote actually last year. Oh my god, maybe like a year and a half ago. I wrote that song a while ago. Nothing to Me I wrote a long time ago. I remember one of my friends DMing me and being like, please, I need this song. I was like, damn, this might be a good one. Like, let me revisit it. So I did, and it kind of like spoke to the theme of the album of like, this could be closing out the cycle of reaffirming in myself that I can stand on my own and I don't need another person. Next up, we got Faded Love. Why did I make that song? I can't even remember the night that I made it. I loved the beat and I wanted to give it justice? Is that the word? I remember being like, I want to be honest about what's going on in here. Those lyrics came out of like, don't I look so happy? Like, yeah, I'm fooling you. Like, I'm a fucking mess. The verses I feel are like me in my room having like my little moment to myself, and then the choruses are me in the Uber on the way to the person because I'm just like having my fantasy. We've talked way too much about this. Okay, next track is Jamais. Jamais in French means never. I wanted this to kind of close out the album. It's really a song about just like, it is what it is. We didn't vibe, but I'm so good with that. It's fine, but like, see you never, That was originally gonna be the last song on the album. If you listen to the ending part, we have this like, oh, it's beautiful and the birds are singing, but then the kind of record scratches and goes back to this song that's kind of saying lonely, lonely for you. You can barely hear it in the end. I wanted it to be so soft that you could barely understand it, but I say, I know easy isn't what you want for me, mais j'en ai pas assez grandi, which means, but haven't I grown enough? Which again is like back to that outcry of the universe. I was going through my old music that I had written and kind of like not done anything with and didn't know myself came up, and it just kind of jumped out at me like, this is the perfect ending to the cycle of the album. It sounds like Apathy, they're so similar, and it was crazy how I didn't know in the moment that I was writing that song that would just like perfectly encapsulate the album. That's on quantum jumping right there. Lyrics are just like, now I see with my new eyes that I had it in me all this time. I had to leave to find my light. Nothing grows if you just let it die. Kind of a direct callback to Apathy, which is saying I'm apathetic, and this song is saying nothing grows if you let it die. Like, don't stay apathetic, stay growing, stay curious. You'll gain these new eyes in time that will show you that you were meant to be exactly where you were. I think that's a beautiful way to just kind of end the album on that self-realization note. And then again, if the album album replays, it starts back at apathy and we're back to like square one. I really wanted it to encapsulate a cycle. If as I've been growing, I've been seeing so many patterns and synchronicities, and that is part of the beauty of this life. I think the human experience is gorgeous, and being able to portray it through music is one of the best gifts in the world. With my new eyes, that I had it in me all this time. I had to leave to find